country. You know, we just sit in apathy, knowing that it's all not good around us, but not doing a darn thing about it. And it kind of blows my mind to see as much of the country not involved with Occupy, because so many of the people that I know that believe in the things we're about.
As a whole.
Yeah, it's like all these people believe in what we're about, but they're so stuck in their apathy.
The government, the federal system, the way it's structured, give the individual citizens no time to be able to collaborate within themselves and perceive the actual dilemma that's been rising through the whole situation. Ever since they perceived an issue, they haven't perceived the whole issue and haven't been able to relate the whole concept and each path of that issue. You know, this is something that we have elite psychologists and sociologists within our government. So it's either somebody's been misled or there's been a true national conspiracy. Yeah,
purposely, and it's hard to believe that it could reach into every realm of our society and not be intentional.
But what they're trying to do is keep it from the majority of the public, because if the majority of the public got a whiff of what the corruption that they were really being related to, then they'd make a stand. They'd impeach Bush. You know, they would impeach Bush instead of just allowing Bush to veto their veto. You know what I'm saying? It don't make sense to me. And it was a corporate stand to try to perceive how credible their manipulation would be, and who would stand up for it, and how they would stand up for it. They was going off theoretical perceptions that, you know, political theoretical perceptions, incorporative stuff, theory.
It definitely seems like that's why Occupy has been hit so hard with all of these excuses for what is bad about us that are really the same problems that we've had before. They just label them along with Occupy so that they can kind of manipulate the public into not realizing that we have a chance to unite and stand up together and maybe change the wrongs that are going on around us.
Well, yeah, but then you have a lot of government funded organizations that manipulate the people into actually telling you where your taxes are going, because then they can launder their money back to themselves, because they like the reason that they want us to shut this down. What I believe is that because the mission is corporately owned now, they don't have the same owner as they used to, and the diner, which fed a whole bunch of people over here, we were feeding people with more range of food and better health, and we were assisting the people way better than any government funded organization.
We were helping each other.
Yeah, we were helping each other, and they don't want us to see that. We were taking care of each other. We were taking care of our own problems, which would leave a lot of organizations, like authoritative organizations, out in the dust if this actually caught on and was perceived by the majority of the community, which is needed, you know, so the community can understand how progressive they can actually be without these biased perspectives manipulating to only benefit themselves and not benefit the whole.
Yeah, it's very interesting. They gave all this money for transitional help for people here, but they spent 2/3 of it on policing the situation, so that we got a half a dozen cops standing around doing nothing for the last 2 hours, from what I could tell.
Yeah, they pretty much do the same thing. The cops are an issue because they don't help the community learn about themselves. They don't help resegregate the community, you know, and give those psychological aspects to be more understanding to certain individuals of their community. You know, they keep up the biasness just for their own personal profited concepts, you know. they really cared about the community, if they stood up for what they originally formed themselves to be, then, you know, we wouldn't have all these dilemmas. We wouldn't have these war on drugs. We wouldn't have this housing problem of homelessness, and we wouldn't have these border issues. You know what I'm saying? But they separate the truth from whatever they want. Selective relations.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Selective relations. It kind of says it all. I think maybe that's what spooked him, is that if we aren't selective, then we might actually all communicate and figure out how to do the right thing.
And then they'll feel singled out, like the people they were making feel. You know, like the people they were causing dilemmas, they were oppressing, because they were oppressing people. Half of these people grew up, and the reason they have mental illness is because they're oppressed and depressed of the situation that's happening around them. They have no assistance, and all they're saying is it's a mental illness. They have a disease, and it's not that. It's the oppressed disease that they afflicted upon the whole. You know what I'm saying? If they just see that, it starts from child psychology. If you understand child psychology, you perceive and know how a child is raised and how they perceive things and how they're affected by what happens around them negatively, and then they grow into it incoherently and have instinctive manners of adjusting to the surroundings. You know, a certain trigger to set them off of something that they perceive in the past that affected them. But they won't understand it because they got separated from that understanding of knowing themselves. You know what I'm saying? If the psychologists were really trying to help people instead of just trying to make money and have people just sit on a couch while they just doodle on a piece of paper saying they're taking notes. You know what I'm saying? If the true psychologists that are profiting off the rich, that are prestiged and all this, went to the incarcerated areas, like correctional facilities, and helped those people. I mean, they have a credibility already. They made a credibility upon themselves that they are elite and are able to help people. So I think they should get out of helping the corporate structure of their dilemmas and help the people that's in, you know, with the real dilemmic issues that's really been affected by what's been happening.
It's true, so true.